Hey guys, what's up? It's JR Cuber. Welcome to Cubed Season 7, Episode 1. So today we're starting a new season of Cubed. Cube seasons are 5 episodes long. Last episode was Season 6, Episode 5. So now we're starting Season 7. Of course, we're always going to be starting with our average of 12 / Q&A. This time, however, I'm going to be using the Valk 3M. This cube is pretty much my main at this point. Like, it's so good, and I just love it. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first question comes from ST Cube Israel. What types of videos do you most like to do? Well, my personal favorite for a video is a review. I get to be pretty creative, and it's just a lot of fun to get those panning shots and do those nice shots of the cube. I just think that's a lot of fun. The only thing I don't like about reviews is scripting, but actually filming and editing a review is super fun. I do need to start making more reviews, and I have a plan to release quite a few reviews next month, so look forward to that. Joshua Beck, what is your position on having big competitions, such as competitions with 200 plus people, having a qualifier like a sub 1 single and 3x3 in order to compete? Nationals last year had a 200 person waiting list that would have been cut down to at least 50 to 80 people and would have allowed more experienced cubers to get the opportunity to compete. Well, if I'm not mistaken, Worlds next year has a prereq in order to sign up in certain events. So you have to have an official average of a certain time in order to compete. I'm pretty sure it's Worlds. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive. Now, the time limits were pretty inclusive, so I think 3x3 was like a 2-minute average or something like that. So for most of the events, it was really easy to get that. But it did also make it impossible for you to compete if it was your first competition. If you've never competed before, you couldn't because you had to have an official average on record. And it also ruled out all of the people who would go just to compete for fun and not really trying to even make the hard cutoff, stuff like that. I guess the idea is to reduce the amount of time each round takes, which is very smart in my opinion, considering there are a lot of people that have signed up for Worlds. And so it would make it go a lot smoother if everybody kind of knows what they're doing, since they've at least been to one competition before. So I think it's a good idea. I really like this, and I think for big competitions, it should be necessary. Especially for something like the World Championships or Nationals, it seems like you should at least have a little bit of experience. Simple Cubes, do you think that Chi will ever become the dominant brand? Well, there's pretty much no denying that at one point Moyu was the dominating brand, and before that it was Diane. But now there's been a lot more companies that have started to produce cubes. There's a lot more sub-brands of Moyu. There's Chi, there's Yushin. There's just a lot more brands now. And I don't think it's even reasonable to say that there is a dominant brand anymore. And I don't think that there should be. I think it's great that there's more diversity in the amount of cubes that have come out now. And so there doesn't need to be one brand that dominates everything. You know, you can have certain brands that are better at certain cubes, stuff like that. It just works out really nicely, I think. But Chi is definitely up there. They've been making some great cubes recently. Donovan Barraza, do you think that cubers don't replace stickers that are torn because they are symbolic? Well, it's sort of a symbolic thing. I kind of think that it is. When I put the full fitted stickers on my Along V2, I said I was never going to replace them. And yes, it is kind of symbolic to have some really torn up stickers. You know, it kind of shows that the cube's been used a lot. It actually is also helpful because I have come to kind of recognize the pattern of the tears, so I can distinguish which cube is mine from a pile of Along V2s, especially ones that also have full fitted stickers with my color scheme on them. That's happened before, where literally there were 2 Alongs on a table. They both had my color scheme, my logo, and full fitted stickers, and they felt identical. The way I was able to determine which one was mine was looking at the stickers, and I was like, okay, I know that one's mine because I recognize the pattern of the tears in the stickers. It was kind of funny. So yeah, it does have some practical uses to not replace the stickers. Sophia T, do you think that people are copying you by using their initials in their YouTube name? And what is your opinion on it? Well, I can't assume that every single person who has done their XYCuber name is copying me, but I think it's definitely safe to say that most of them are. And yeah, technically it's copying, I guess, if you want to say it. It's more like, you know, they got their inspiration for their name from my name. I don't know if you can really call it the same thing. Honestly, it can get annoying sometimes seeing the amount of people that have, you know, the same type of name. There's definitely an oversaturation in the amount of channels that are using this trend, but I don't really see anything inherently wrong with it, so I don't really mind it. I would encourage people to be a little bit more creative. I should have been more creative, I think. My channel name I actually got from someone else who did the same thing, who did the XYCuber thing, and I did it based off of them. So it's definitely not something that I created either. Yeah, but overall, I don't really mind it. Cube dudes, how big is cubing in your school? Do many of your classmates cube or know about your channel? Cubing is definitely very small in my school. I think there's some people who like used to be into it or are like know how to solve it but aren't active cubers. But yeah, I'm pretty much the only cuber at my school that I know of, at least. And I would say a fair amount of people know about my channel. Like some of my teachers know. I know at least in one class, everybody knows about it because they played my videos in class one time. So yeah, there's a fair amount of people that know about it, but I don't like openly broadcast it everywhere. Well, actually, no, that's right. I wear my Team USA jacket like all the time. Although I'm sure most people have no idea what it means. So those are all the questions I could answer today. If you had a question that didn't get answered, you can leave it in the comments and I might answer it next month. So that was a 1336 average of 12. Pretty nice, actually. Several of those solves could have been a bit better, but I'm still getting used to the way this cube turns and actually the size of it. It feels a little small for me. My fingers sometimes get caught on the layers, but I still really like it and it has been giving me good times. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on to this month's challenge. So this month's challenge comes from Cookie Cuber, and he challenged me to solve a 3x3 with one hand, and the cube always has to be on the table. He did provide a scramble, and I did scramble the cube using that scramble. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to push this up so I can actually have some space on the table here to work. And you can't really see the time, but I'll show it at the end. Anyway, let's go ahead and give this a shot. So the cube always has to be touching the table. Okay, here we go. There we go. I got sub-minute. How about that? I got a 57.98. So Cookie Cuber got a 1 minute 55, so almost 2 minutes. So I won that challenge. Anyways, thanks to Cookie Cuber for sending in the challenges. I don't really have any more as of right now, so definitely be sure to send in some more. And definitely make sure to make a video of yourself doing the challenge. As you saw in this episode, the actual challenge video was displayed at the same time as the solve. So definitely be sure to submit a video of yourself doing the challenge so you can actually get your video in the episode if you would like to. You can send the video over YouTube. Don't be afraid to send the link. It will get marked as spam, but that actually makes it easier for me to filter out the comments. I also accept it on Twitter, Facebook, anything like that. It all works. Anyways, that's about it for this month's challenge. So, on to cubing news. Let's talk about all the cubes that came out in the month of November. First up, we've got the Mofang Jiaoshi MF2S. I did get this cube. I think it's really nice. You can check out my video about that if you're interested. It's a really cheap cube. It's only $5. It's from Moyu's Cubing Classroom series. We've also got the Moyu Magnetics Cube, which I also unboxed. I did like it a lot. It's definitely not bad, and I've heard a lot of good things about it from actual Scube solvers who do Scube as an event, unlike me. Next is the Shengshao Master Pyraminx. Again, I unboxed that one as well. This one is flat-faced, and I really like it. I'm a big fan of it, mainly because it looks more uniform and all the pieces look the same, unlike the one by Mefferts, which was pillowed, which kind of gave it a weird shape. So that one's really cool. It looks nice in the collection. Next, we've got the Chi Wu Kui 4x4. God, I don't even know how to pronounce that. It's got a Q in it, so don't ask me. Anyways, it's a new 4x4 from Chi. I am getting this soon, so definitely look out for that unboxing. Next up, we got the Mofang Jiaoshi MF7S. This is the Cubing Classroom line again, except a 7x7. Then we've got the Chi Ivy Cube. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm almost positive that this is a mass-produced Cubaminx. So from the looks of it, it basically is just a cubic Pyraminx. I'm also going to be unboxing that soon. so check that out. Also, next we got the Yushin Huanglong 7x7. I unboxed this recently, and I really like it. It's awesome. Finally, we've got the Hello Cube Flat 2x2. So this looks very similar to a 2x2 Slim. I made one of those a long time ago. I'm also going to be revisiting that soon, so I'm going to make a tutorial on how to make a 2x2 Slim pretty soon. However, this cube looks like it's squished on 2 axes, so it doesn't look quite proportional. I'm pretty sure this is because all the stickers are the same color on all the sides, so there's no way that all of the pieces would be the same. I think it shapeshifts in all 3 directions, so it's not exactly like the 2x2 Slim, but it's similar. So, on to world records. There were quite a few records broken this month, and kicking it off, we've got the 3x3 world record single, broken by Mats Valk. Like I said in my Valk M video, the only way you haven't heard of this is if you've been living under a rock. Mats Valk broke the 3x3 world record using his own cube and technically his own method on the last layer, which I think is pretty classy. Next up, we've got 5x5 blindfolded single and 4x4 blindfolded single, both broken by Kaijun Lin from China. The 5x5 blindfolded single time was 4 minutes 46 seconds, 0.74, and the 4x4 blindfolded single time was 2 minutes 2 seconds, 0.49. 6x6 average was broken by Felix with a 137.85. 2x3 blindfolded single and average was broken by Kaijun Lin, again in the same average. The average time was 24.34 and the single was 18.50. Then we've got 5x5 single broken by, you guessed it, Felix with a 41.27. And finally, 5x5 blindfolded single broken for the second time this month by Roman something. I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name, just like with most of these people that break these records, because I can never pronounce their last names. Anyways, that's about it for cubing news. If you'd like to purchase any of the puzzles I talked about in this video, the links will be in the description. If you'd like to see the full world record videos, links will be in the description for those as well. So that's about it for this month's episode of Cubed. If you guys like this video, give it a like, and if you haven't already done so, like my Facebook page, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, support me on Patreon, and of course subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.